What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we will be looking at Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as status to Bitcoin. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up if you like the content and want to see more. Otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. So we're going to be doing some technical analysis, of course, on the blue chip cryptocurrencies, as well as looking at status's recent breakout or trending upwards. We're going to be looking at a few things in that term, and then I do have an article that I want to show you guys referencing Litecoin and its possible projections and why it's trading the way it is. So otherwise, let's jump into today's episode. So we're on the coin market cap right now. As you guys can see, 203 is the current market cap, a 24-hour volume, 11.5, Bitcoin dominance 54. So we're having about the same Bitcoin dominance, not really much movements compared to yesterday, but we are seeing slightly higher 24-hour volume, and then we are seeing a slightly higher market cap. Around the same though, we're not really seeing much movement, but we are seeing it slightly dip up. To scroll down though, as you guys can see, the top 10 cryptos, only 3 out of 10 seem to be doing poorly, but not by much. Bitcoin only down by 0.17%, Stellar 0.68%, and then Tether by 0.78%. Otherwise, the other 7 out of the 10 cryptos seem to be doing quite well. Litecoin up 1.5%, majority are up, around 1 to 1.5 to 2%. You can see Ethereum is up only 0.18 at 197. Litecoin at 49.91. We're really trying to regain the 50 and inevitably the 55. And then Monero is doing quite well too at 104.28. But otherwise, the market does seem to be just in a consolidative standpoint. We're not really seeing much crazy movement. There's not really many coins that are up and doing quite well. There's also not a lot doing, poorly. They all are kind of trading sideways at this moment in time. But there are some few things that I want to point out. Now, there is this article that I want to show you guys by A&B Crypto, and then we will then relate it to what I have to say about Litecoin personally. But as you guys can see, this says Litecoin technical analysis. It's basically giving you guys another point of view about the technical analysis of Litecoin. It says bulls prepare for short-term sprint, long hole still in bear's grasp. So that's kind of what we're going to be looking at. It's basically talking about the short-term movement we have seen within cryptocurrency in the past day. And then in the long term, it's saying we are still in a bear territory. So we are obviously going to look at that, Scrolling down, as you guys can see, the 1 hour, it says Litecoin shows a clear downtrend at the $53.49 to $49 and was trading at $49.48 at the time of this article was made. So you can see right here the downtrend that is going on Litecoin right now. Very, very, very clear. I do want to show you guys how this relates to my views in a second, but what I really want to show you guys is the current 1-day chart. So it says a clear downtrend is visible from 52 to 49, which had started in May of 2018. No significant uptrend is in sight, and the resistance is set at 52.15, while support is at 48, so which we're pretty much bouncing off of right now. You can see this red downtrend of the sort right there. Sorry for those people on mobile. You can also see the relative strength index is pretty much oversold. So we are going to be looking at a few things right now. I did want to just show you guys their representation. Now, I do want to show you guys Bitcoin first, then we'll look at Litecoin. So I'm on Bitcoin on Coinbase on the weekly scale, and I want to show you guys something. There is still some sort of downtrend taking place, descending triangle, whatever you want to call it, symmetrical triangle taking place on Bitcoin on its weekly. You can see that I have this really, really, really strong downtrend, and you can see the resistance it has faced in many, many, many areas of its travel, its price action, its price movement. You can also see that we do have a support at the bottom right here, pretty low at 5,800. But you can see I do have this yellow band that is slightly moving up, and I'll start to zoom in closer, look at the daily and then the 4 hour. But you can see there is a yellow band right here that is holding a lot of support as well. I'm just going to make this a little bit darker for you guys, make it a little bit clearer. Hopefully that helps. You can see right here this one that's moving up. So that kind of shows me that there is some sort of support, symmetrical triangle in play right now. So it's very interesting. It's also nice to notice that we are using this green band as a support right now. We've bounced off of it a couple times, and it is slowly moving up. You can see though that we are in between these lines, so it's kind of holding a lot of resistance when we are kind of in between that high-low MMA. You can also see the crossover that we had right here during this downtrend. The green band crossed over the red, indicating that we are in a bearish market. You can also see how wide they are separating, which is another indicator that we are still prime in a bearish market. I do think that we are slightly coming out of it, and like I said, in this accumulation zone, mainly because you can see we're not really moving farther down in price. You can see previously over here, I'd say up until like I'd say around July to August, we were in a bearish market all the way back down. We were just heading down. There really wasn't much uptrend. But you can see as we stopped around August, we started to just trade sideways right now. We're not really seeing much bullish movement, but we're seeing more of a stable sideways trading movement, which is what I would consider the accumulation zone before a more bullish move. So we are seeing a lot of sideways momentum right now, and we're really seeing a lot smaller dips compared to what we've had previously in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I'm now showing you guys what I am looking at and how I graph the daily like Bitcoin. So hopefully this now looks a little bit clearer and a little bit easier to the eye, especially on mobile. You can see I'm now on the daily. You can see we're pretty much only at, 43 on the relative strength index. So there's a lot of still sideways movement and plenty of potential to move farther down. But the interesting thing that I want to note is when you look at the daily right now, you can see there's a lot of support on this symmetrical triangle, and it's almost safe to say that we are setting higher lows and lower highs. You can see that these are the lower highs as we form down. You can also see these are the higher lows as we continue to move up. Very interesting though. You can see how we started at 58, we moved to 6,000, up to around 61, then 62, and now we're at like 62.70, 62.60. So it's very interesting to see this sideways symmetrical triangle formation. You can see we're seeing a lot of resistance though on this high-low middle moving average as it comes in on the daily, but this yellow support does seem to be holding quite well. And I did kind of adjust my lines as we've continued on, but again, I still think there is going to be a very, very, very big potential movement. Even if it's only up a couple $100s, it's what I consider a big movement within Bitcoin and Litecoin, due to the fact that we haven't really seen much, manipulation or movement at all within this currency. Yes, we've seen a move from like 63 all the way to, 73, but I could see like $1,000 being $1,000 being a move very, very, very quickly within Bitcoin. Now to show you guys how this symmetrical triangle, as you guys can see, forms, I do want to just move into the 4 hour to get a quicker view of things, and then we'll jump over to Litecoin. But you guys can also see where we're having a lot of issues right now and why we're seeing a lot of that stipulation in the past. Mainly because you can see we were kind of trading in between the high-low MA, and now you can see we kind of fell below it. We're using it as a pretty big resistance, and we kind of just couldn't hold on to it. We did fall lower, but used this as a support, and as you guys can see right now as I zoom out, what I'm referring to. So there is a line, this yellow line, that numerous times we have used as a support in the past, and that's why I think there is some sort of symmetrical triangle forming. You can see we're also oversold in the relative strength index, and we have now entered out of that. So I do think we're going to hold this line pretty strong as we continue to move up, and if possible close up here at the end of mid-November ish, so about 2 to 2.5 weeks. But we're really looking, you can see how this is going to come into play right in between the two lines that meet. So it'll be very interesting to see how that plays out as the lines continue on and the price moves sideways. Litecoin kind of following Bitcoin's path. You can see we did see some sort of movement. For those of you who bought down over at $47, you could have made a small profit of $3, depending on how many coins you owned. You own 10 coins, that would have been I believe 30. You own 100 coins, that's $300. So there is a big play. So only putting $5,000 into Litecoin, if you bought down here and then sold it up here, you could have made $300. So it's a good investment when you bought it 100 coins at $50, that's $5,000. You sold it you bought at 47, sold it at 5, you made $300. Very easy. You take it out and you just can continue to play with the market like that, and you can make a pretty big profit fairly soon. This is only a day's difference. Very interesting to see though that today we saw a lot of manipulation in the price though. We went all the way from 47 right up to 50 fairly quick, closing that candle at around $49, $50. So it doesn't look too bad. Nice to see that we swung back up and are now above our small support at 49.60 that I have drawn. So I was bound to move up fairly quick. I didn't think we were just gonna, dive bomb in the price. I do just want to look on the daily, and then we'll move over to Ethereum and then our status coin. But very interesting to see that we did come quite low. It's very, very, very surprising to me that we managed to break through around $51 that I had at a support. And obviously our purple line that we were using for quite some time, our $55. I do think we are going to move back up. I do think we are going to go above $51, that yellow line of support fairly quick. Yes, it is acting as a resistance, but I don't think it will stay below that long. I do think it will trade out sideways until we can manage to hit this yellow downtrend that we have. But otherwise, I think we're just gonna trade out sideways and follow the big dog, which is Bitcoin. So a lot of you guys have to be paying attention to where Bitcoin's movement is, and obviously use Litecoin and Ethereum and those other coins to help gauge where Bitcoin's is trying to go. You can see, very interesting, that Ethereum was trying to do the same thing Bitcoin and Litecoin did by trying to break above their 198 or $200 resistance. You can see Litecoin did that with its yellow line right there, and you can see now how Ethereum was trying to do that but couldn't manage to stay above. So I think just a lot of consolidation and sideways trading on this 4-hour movement is pretty much what's due for Ethereum, mainly because of how much swings this Ethereum token has had, and Bitcoin and Litecoin. So otherwise, I do think we're going to trade out sideways. I do think this needs to follow out. I do think we're not going to see major swings in the price. I don't think there's going to be a dip anytime soon. I don't think there's going to be a breakout within a couple of days, like I said, 2 weeks. And I think Ethereum is going to follow out too and trade sideways until Bitcoin is able to reach this kind of point right here, this pivotal point right there. Otherwise, like I said, it's still in a bearish market, you guys can see, or an accumulation market in a downtrend of the sort. You can see right here, status coin has been trading downwards ever since, let's see, ever since like January, if not, yeah, pretty much into January. We have pretty much seen status just plummet downwards in price, and as you guys can see, it's slowly starting to move up. I know not nearly as great of a leap as it's had in the past, but it is slowly starting to move up in its price. You can see finally where the coin decides to trade out. It does trade sideways, and we don't really see that spike right at the point of contact, but we do start to see it move up now, which is quite interesting. I do think we have caught onto status early, and I do think it is going to continue to move up, as due to the fact that on its daily relative strength index, it's nowhere near overbought yet. So I do think it is going to move up and at least retest right here its green band, if not its red band. Otherwise, that's going to sum up the video for today, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to check out my new crypto TV merch. It is in the description below, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's episode. Peace.